I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Shocking news. The real reason Tyler Perry blocked Arsenio Hall. The real reason why Tyler Perry is hating on Jamie Foxx's new movie. Yes, Jamie Foxx got a new movie out, and it's kind of like taking shots at Tyler Perry. I don't think that it was like on no hating type ish. I don't think Jamie is hating on Tyler Perry. But of course, Tyler Perry didn't like it. How do y'all feel about it? Or have y'all seen Jamie Foxx's new movie? What do y'all think of Jamie Foxx's new movie? Before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What's up, Curvy Cow? How you feel, Curvy Cow? Have you seen Jamie Foxx's new movie? And if you have, what do you think of it? Have you seen Jamie Foxx's new movie? And if you have, what do you think of it? I'm doing good, Curvy. Curvy says she hasn't saw it.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here.
Give everybody a few more minutes to come on in. And we're going to jump straight into it. Once again, I'm going to read my disclaimer one more again. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. This video that I call a demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is allegedly. Salute, Sharon. Salute, Sharon. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is allegedly. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So, salute Cotan. Salute Cotan. Jamie Foxx has a new movie. Let's see what Comedy Hype News has to say. Big shout out to Comedy Hype News.
Not Another Church movie, a new parody film spoofing the church genre, and more specifically, Comedy Hype News. I'm Symphony Thompson.
Salute, Pee-wee.
Weeks away from the release of Not Another Church movie, a new parody film spoofing the church genre, and more specifically, Tyler Perry movies. However, the film's tagline reminds you of that and strictly says this is not a Tyler Perry movie. Now, that might be clear to the public pretty soon, as sources have reported that Tyler Perry's team reached out to the producers of the film. The project is using the same parody style as the Scary Movie series, making fun of an entire genre of movies. The plot revolves around a man named Taylor Harry, and that's spelled with a P, but the P is silent, who is called upon by God to become a writer and inspire his community by telling family stories. But of course, the devil finds a way to intervene himself. From the trailer, it's clear that writer and director Johnny Mac used Tyler Perry as source material for parody and satire, with references towards his most famous characters, Medea, Joe, Mr. Brown, and Cora, as well as multiple nods to some of his most notable movies like Daddy's Little Girl, Medea Goes to Jail, and so much more. Vivica A. Fox, Tisha Campbell, Jasmine Guy, Kyla Pratt, Lamorne Morris, and Kevin Daniels all star in the project, with Mickey Rourke playing the devil in.
So apparently, Jamie Foxx has some characters in his new movie that imitates Medea, imitates a lot of Tyler Perry movies. This one thing that I can say, y'all. This one thing that I could say. When it comes to entertainment, me and Pee Wee, we have this talk all the time. If you roast somebody, if you make fun of somebody, if you use somebody's material and things of that nature, when the tables turn and somebody roasts you, or when the tables turn and somebody uses your material, things of that nature, it's all fair game. Now we know that Tyler Perry, his movies, he made a lot of Medea movies. Now, he claims that the Medea character was after, the likeness of a family member. Now, Jamie's movie is not out yet, but from what I'm seeing, I'm just seeing basically he's paying homage to Tyler Perry because the characters that he does have in it, it's a man dressed up like a lady. Let me let Comedy Hype News break it down a little bit more, and then we're going to come into it. Salute Positive Vibes. Salute 80s, baby. Salute Tracy. I see y'all. Salute.
Jamie Foxx as God. Now, the movie is filled with familiar faces poking fun at the Hollywood mogul and is relentless in its attempt. Tyler Perry has a history of contacting those who dare to make fun of him and his work. If you remember back in 2022, Donald Glover would portray a character named Kirkwood Chocolate, which drew several parallels to Tyler Perry in an episode of Atlanta. According to a GQ interview, Glover warned Perry about the episode that was coming, saying, "I told him I was going to do it." He would elaborate, "I don't know how he took it. I texted him once, I think, for something. I didn't hear back."
Are we sensitive? Are we really that sensitive now? Salute Isla. Salute Isla. Appreciate you for pulling up. Are we that sensitive? Like, I guess everybody didn't grow up like me and Pee Wee, whereas though give a joke, take a joke. So y'all let me know. Do you think Tyler Perry is being too sensitive on this? Drop a 1 if you think Tyler Perry may be too sensitive. Drop a 2 if you feel like, hey, Shank, it's his characters and, it's his likeness and things of that nature, and nobody should be, trying to copy it, or nobody should be using, the likeness, like, the Medea character. Let's just start with the Medea character. It's a man dressed up like a woman, like an old lady. So is it right for Tyler Perry to say, hey, man, you stealing my idea? I'm the first one that dressed up like a woman, even though Tyler Perry isn't the first man to dress up like an old lady. We had Flip Wilson. What's the other lady before Mob Maybelline? Is it Mob Maybelline? So Tyler Perry wasn't the first man to dress up like a lady, like an old lady. So if Tyler Perry has a problem with Jamie Foxx in the Jamie Foxx movie dressing up like an old lady, is it right for him to, be upset with Jamie when Tyler Perry wasn't the originator of a man dressing up like an old lady? Y'all let me know what y'all think.
That's the thing about being black. It becomes so personal so fast. I'm not ishing on you. I hope Tyler understands. I still want to shoot at his studio someday. Like stated before, Perry being upset at being spooked isn't nothing new. In 2010, the Boondocks aired an episode titled Pause, where Granddad gets cast in a play by Winston Jerome, who looks a lot like Mr. Perry. In the episode, it's discovered that Jerome's play auditions act as a recruiting technique for his compound. Of course, Perry was reportedly upset over how he was portrayed and allegedly contacted Turner Broadcasting Company to reevaluate his relationship with the company. The Boondocks aired on Adult Swim, which is under Turner. At the time, Perry had two different shows produced by the company, House of Pain and Meet the Browns.
Salute Nola. Now, Jamie Foxx did reach out. He did reach out to Tyler Perry and said he didn't mean no harm. He wasn't taking no shots. And in the near future, he's looking to work at Tyler Perry's studio. So why would Tyler Perry be offended? Is it bigger than what we see? Could it have been that Tyler Perry may have felt as though Jamie Foxx could have at least worked with him and got him to work with him on this project? Salute my boo. Salute my boo. Appreciate you for pulling up.
Producer of the Boondocks, Carl Jones, would even confirm this information in an exclusive interview with Comedy Hype. Now, when it comes to Not Another Church movie, Jamie Foxx is listed as one of the film's top actors. While Foxx and Perry haven't collaborated on a project yet, Foxx himself is no stranger to poking fun at the Hollywood mogul. In 2012, Foxx would host Saturday Night Live and appeared in a sketch that would act as a fake movie trailer for Tyler Perry's Alex Cross 2, Madea Special Ops. The sketch featured Foxx pulling double duty as both Alex Cross and Madea at the same time, splitting the two characters right down the middle. We all know Foxx excels at impressions, and his Madea impression was no different.
Curvy says it's something bigger than that. Positive says Tyler Perry doesn't want another black man to exceed him. That's the vibe that I'm getting, positive vibe, because it's like, I get it, but then I don't get it, because even as content creators, even as rappers, singers, no matter what it is that we do, we were inspired by somebody else. The old man, I was inspired by somebody else. The word demonstration, that's not my word. That's a Baltimore slang. So all of us take from somebody. All of us. We may have heard somebody say something. Even when it comes to dressing, we may have seen somebody dress or have on this or have on that. Now, we might not wear the exact hookup, but we all are inspired by somebody. No matter who you is, somebody inspired you. Are we that sensitive? See, for me, when people use words that I use, when people use my slang, like when I hear people using switching lanes. Now, I didn't make up switching lanes. If you backtrack and if you listen to some rappers was mentioning switching lanes way before I came out with the Switching Lanes episodes. You know, so are we that sensitive that we don't want to share what we have? Are we that, salute Capricorn Chronicles, are we that sensitive? We miss you too, Capricorn. Are we that sensitive that whenever, as Positive Vibes said, we don't want nobody to exceed from us? Hey, man, take the torch. Go further than I went. I don't, and y'all gonna have to help me understand. Now, if it's bigger than just, that the Medea and all that, then okay. But shouldn't you be happy? Shouldn't you be happy for the next man? And it's not even a black thing. It's not even a white thing. I just think it's a mankind thing. Like, why wouldn't you be happy for the next man?
Now, there's no word on whether Perry contacted Fox about this SNL parody like he did with the Boondocks in Atlanta.
Salute, Miss Tree. Salute, Miss Tree.
But history shows that he does not appreciate being made fun of. Perry's teens...
Okay. Now, salute Tammy. Salute Tammy. Do you think Tyler Perry has a legitimate reason for not wanting to be made fun of? Like I said, everybody didn't grow up like me and Pee Wee. There's some people out here that just don't like to be made fun of. In my opinion, I think that that's a legitimate excuse. I do. Because, depending on what it is that people are making fun of you about, but then on this, it's not like Jamie Foxx is making fun of Tyler Perry. Jamie Foxx is just using characters in his movie that's similar to the characters that's in Tyler Perry movies. So it's not like Jamie Foxx is roasting Tyler Perry, taking jabs at Tyler Perry. He's just using characters in his movie that's similar to the characters that's in Tyler Perry's movie.
Latest outreach to the producers of Not Another Church movie is just another example of this. Joining me is our very own Danielle Miller to discuss this, but first, let's take a look at this trailer.
Deserves to get hanged.
Just said, "Hey, your ass is gonna get paid." You think you gonna get my money when I'm gone? Oh, I'm gonna get your money. You know what you gonna get? You gonna get this gas money. We didn't know you was gonna go all 50 shades of gray on them, brother. Gotta watch. That is reverse. Oh, don't worry about that, man. They stay strapped ready for any unwanted police officer.
The dude goes to jail.
Ooh, that's a good idea for a sequel.
Now that could be looked at. Depending on the individual. Like I said, for me, I would be honored. I would be honored to have somebody imitating my art. Like, if I see somebody doing a movie and they making reference to the words that I use. If I see somebody in a movie and they got a character that's wearing a bald head, and the character is always talking about half and half, a chicken box and a half and half. The character is always talking about, welcome to this demonstration. We know where they got it from, and we know who they talking about. So for me, I would be honored. I would feel honored, because when people imitate your art, when people imitate your work, they're just paying homage to you. How do y'all feel? Even if y'all roast me, you could make a movie, you could make a whole hour-and-a-half movie roasting me. I'd be laughing with you if the joke's funny. But everybody is not like me. But I just want to know, what could it be that set Tyler Perry off? Like, why do Tyler Perry have an issue? I mean, and we talking about Jamie Foxx. So we not just talking about no off-brand dude. We ain't talking about no regular Joe Blow. We talking about Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx career started way before Tyler Perry came into existence. So it's not like it's a regular Joe Blow that's trying to come up off of Tyler Perry's name. I mean, Jamie Foxx, he put his work in. He put his work in. So I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Now, Danielle, this is actually my first time seeing the trailer. So first I want to start. What's your reaction to the trailer?
Progressive makes
Damn
it easy to
ads.
save with a quick commercial auto quote online.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's like, okay, I'm on because of the people that are in it. I want it to be funny, but at the same time, for me, it's like, okay, what's happening here? And then what's throwing me off is the fact that you have to say from the people that did not bring you X, Y, Z. And this is not a Tyler Perry movie. For me, in my mind, I'm just like, I don't know, this sort of like is a hard sell and obvious sign that this is a Tyler Perry spoof. To me, that's what I'm getting from it. And that's what I thought when I saw the trailer, basically.
Yeah, no, and I think everybody knows. I think it's just a way of them being funny. I think something that you said is something I relate. Like seeing the people, like seeing Tisha Campbell, seeing Jamie Foxx, like seeing all these people that we love so much in it. I do hope it's funny. I think it will be funny. But I don't know. I love spoofs. Like I was always a fan of the scary movie spoofs and even like reenactments. You know, when you watch the Chappelle show, like I love those parts where he would replay something. And of course, it seems like some people may get upset. You know, in the filming or the release of it, you know, just the feelings of it. But I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it's going to be fun and funny. I don't think it's, you know, to slight anybody, but it's just a part of the art, it seems like.
And that's how I look at it. It's just a part of the art. Curry says Tyler Perry jealous and afraid he is going to end his career. And also we're going to be chopping it up about Tyler Perry blocking Arsenio Hall. Here's my thing. Why? Why do we always, when we reach a status, or why is it always somebody that made it, but they don't want to see other people make it? I never could understand that. Like, don't you want for you what you want for your brother? Aren't you your brother's keeper? I never could understand. Like, it could be an individual and they could have the world. And you could be just getting by. You could just have crumbs. They will not help you. They will not help you. And you be wondering, why won't they help me? Don't they see that I'm struggling? Do y'all know anybody like that? Have y'all ever been around people like that may have the world, but they shit on other folks? And you just be like, damn. You know, like, I'm not saying that you should give anybody nothing for free. That's not what I'm saying. You know, not expecting you to give nobody nothing for free. I'm not even expecting you to give nobody what you got, what you've earned. But if you see somebody that's worthy, if you see somebody that's working hard, if you see a good-hearted person, why not lend them a helping hand? Why not lend them a helping hand? Most people with money, most rich people ain't shit. Most broke people, most poor people, most middle-class people got good hearts. I'm going to run it again. Most rich people, I didn't say all, Most rich people ain't shit. Most people that's broke, most people that's middle class, got good hearts. Let's listen to some more, y'all.
But so let me ask you. So sources, and I want to make sure we're wording this appropriately too. So these are allegedly and things like that. So Danielle, as we're speaking, we're gonna make sure we're covering our tails here. But close sources.
Once again, everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is allegedly only. This is only for entertainment and educational purposes only. It's all allegedly.
To Comedy Hive did say allegedly that Tyler Perry's team reached out to the producers of this movie. So I'm interested to know, because this isn't the first time that we have heard this, and some of the things that I mentioned earlier we can actually confirm. We know with Boondocks or Atlanta, Boondocks, like Tyler Perry, there was confirmed that he was upset with it. Do you think, and if it's in this situation as well, do you think Tyler Perry and his team or his team reaching out, do you think it's an overreaction of reaching out every time there's something like a parody or something is done about Tyler? Do you think
that's
it's
a good question
to reach out to the producers of the films or shows?
Ironically, we're talking about this today because allegedly he is here, and he's working on a film. Allegedly, I'm saying allegedly, right? Because there have been some videos floating around. But I'll take it from two sides of the spectrum, because I like to give a 360 view. In the art of comedy, I mean, it's just something that happens within our culture, within our community. Everybody, when they're so big, people tend to do spoofs on there. People tend to do jokes on there because you're that public figure. And I can't say exactly the reason behind it, but like you said, we've seen it with Dave Chappelle. We've seen it on SNL. We've even seen celebrities come on these platforms and make fun of themselves also too. So, for Tyler.
Well done, Viv. You got the presents, the balloons, and the raptor cake. Now, how about something to put his...
Looking at his past, I think what happens is he gets triggered sometimes. Because to him, he put in all this work, and he's come to the top of the mountaintop, especially as a black man, and coming from, there's no nepotism. He's deep homeless. Running from basically dealing with investors to get his plays off the ground, and his mother helping him, and also his abusive childhood. I think when parodies happen, it's triggering for him. And I think it's sort of like it's him being a child all over again, and you making fun of me. And especially because the art is his safe space. So that's the two sides I look at it from. So I can't really say in this point in time that he's overreacting, because I don't want to be insensitive to what he may be dealing with as a human being.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And that's one thing that I will say. We really don't know his feelings. And we do got to take his feelings in consideration. So I'll give Tyler Perry that. We do have to take his feelings in consideration. I mean, it happened to him. See, it's easy for me to say it. And it's easy for other folks to say it because it ain't happening to us. So I will agree with that. We don't know how he feel about the situation.
There as well, in the sense of, after I watched his documentary and was able to get, understanding of the things that he went through, and hearing it from him, there does seem to still be some hurt there. So when you have unhealed wounds or just things that we experience as human beings, like, it is difficult to get past those things. So I wouldn't put a overreact.
And I will say that it's because I'm the same way. Like, I give you the shirt off my back. I love you. I do all of the above. But when you cross me, when you do something to me, it's hard. It's hard for me to let it go. It's hard for me to get over it because I feel like I was a good person to you. So I feel like, why would you cross me? Or why would you, try to bring me a move? So I can vouch for that. I'm like that too. It's hard for me to get over some things. People be like, you gotta let it go, but it's easier said than done. Like, it's easy for us to say a person need to let something go when something didn't happen to you or something didn't happen to me. So I can vouch for him on this.
Acting on it because I know more about his story, but just in the space of when I look at parodies in general, I'm just like, for me, it's like for the fun of it. It's with love. You hear people talking about you. Even Vivica A. Fox, I saw her making her rounds, and when the question was asked about, hey, how do you think Tyler is gonna feel about this? Both of her, she was saying like, hey, I love Tyler Perry. Like, this is an honor. I look at spoofs as an honor to you. I don't, look at it as me trying to, put you down or anything. But she kept reiterating, like, I love Tyler. I love what he's done. I love what he's done for the culture. I love what he's built. So I think when you have people that are, they may be a part of the project, but they're also giving love, I think that does change. But like you said, we have no idea how Tyler may feel and how it may trigger him, and you can't really control that. But let me ask you this, Danielle, because what made me think of it when Vivica A. Fox was like, she looks at it as spoofs as like honorable, right? Do you think spoofs help or hurt a brand? Like when we talk about a Tyler Perry or just other movies, do you think it helps or do you think it hurts a brand?
In general, in my humble opinion, I think it helps. Reason being is because sometimes spoof, you might watch the spoof, but you might have not watched the original. So you go back and see what the original is about, so you can get the jokes in the spoof. So I think, in my humble opinion, it helps. Now, in terms of a brand, and here's what I was thinking about. Tyler Perry, when Vivica said it's an honor, Tyler Perry, and I'm going to word this very properly, right? And this is not just with men in America. I think this is with Black men in general, and also as the race in general. When you do not come from, like, for instance, there was a situation I saw when somebody said that from girlfriends, it seems like the only cast member that really held their own over the years with continuous work is Tracy Ellis Ross. Now, that was just that person's statement. And persons in the comments were saying, well, of course, some others stay on the Ross. So to explain her success. So when you come from nothing and you become successful, people begin to try to figure out how. And for Tyler Perry, one of the things that we've heard consistently is we've questioned his sexuality.
Hey, you! Stop what you're watching right now. If you drive your car less than 100 miles a day.
Salute, Blue Devil G. Salute.
In general, when they become successful, either you want to peg them to be a scammer or a drug dealer. Now, some of them, some of our rappers, we don't question their sexuality because they push drugs before they got here. And if you're not any of those things, then we want to lay back on, oh, he's probably homosexual. And that's what we say. Now, I'm not saying he is, I'm not swearing for nobody. But what I am saying for him and his shoes is like, I reached this pinnacle of success. And before people really, really praise me, y'all want to poke holes. Like, y'all want to find out, now y'all questioning my sexuality. And then when it comes to me as a person, y'all making fun of my art. And y'all essentially making fun of me, like you're continuously doing it. And that's what I thought about when I think of Tyler. So yes, it could be an honor, but at the same time, for him, he's probably dealing with that too, of the fact that y'all have said so many other things about me that could not be true,
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I don't know. It's tricky to stand on, right? Because I understand like Tyler Perry and like the feelings, but I think just the art in general, I don't think all the time is done with like an ill will, and I think that's what like makes.
And that's what I was saying. I don't think that it was done with an ill will. I just don't. Now I could be wrong, but I just don't think that it was about clowning Tyler Perry. I just think it was all about paying homage. Salute, Blue Devil G. And then if Jamie isn't the director, the producer, or the writer, you really can't blame it on Jamie. let's do some homework. So Kevin Daniels plays the lead role in the spoof comedy, Not Another Church Movie. It opens May the 10th in theaters. Jamie Foxx plays God, who sends Daniel's character on a mission to inspire the community through his stories, despite hurdles thrown at him by Satan, played by Mickey Rourke. So Jamie is playing the character God in this movie. The lead role is Kevin Daniels. Let's see what else we can find on this. You got Vivica Fox in it. You got Tisha Campbell. So you got some heavyweights in this movie. And of course you got Jamie Foxx. It says Vivica A. Fox and Kevin Daniels are opening up about their new highly anticipated film, Not Another Church Movie. The movie centers around Taylor Perry Daniels, a spoof of Tyler Perry, who believes his mission from God, which is Jamie Foxx, is to tell his family stories and inspire his community. But the devil, Mickey Rourke, has plans of his own. For Fox, she considered the film to be a welcome change from her recent, more dramatic roles. For me to play Judge L. O'Reilly, which was a spoof of Judge Maybelline, I welcome it. The 59-year-old veteran actress explained to Fox 5 Atlanta. Also, Daniels praised the writer, director Johnny Mack. So, if it's somebody that Tyler Perry should go after, I do believe it would be the writer and the director, which is Johnny Mack. Johnny Mack for allowing the ensemble cast to just play and figure out what would be funny. You love a director that has an open mind, that'll let you ad-lib organically. And that's me as a director, as a movie director, as a writer. I always gave my actors and actresses the opportunity to freestyle. I gave them the opportunity to ad-lib, you know. And most of my movies and my episodes and the film work that I've done, I always created the characters around who the person that's playing that character, I created that person for that specific part. Now it says, in regards to it not being a Tyler Perry movie, while also being loosely based on the entertainment mogul, Daniels noted, I think the fact that he's built such an incredible empire of all these incredible films people have watched and loved. People want to see him take a joke. This is about celebrating him, his films, through laughter. And that's how I looked at it, because there were different movies. Y'all remember the movie back in the 90s, Don't Drink Your Juice in, was it South Central LA? And it was basically the remake of Juice, South Central, and another movie. And you remember how it was Sean and Marlon, they played in it. I forgot her name, Regina. And there was some other actors that played in it as well. They were just paying homage to the movie Juice, South Central, and there was one more movie. So I just think that that's what this is, this movie, spoof. I think that it's just paying homage to Tyler Perry. It says, Fox chimed in adding, it's such an honor when someone does a spoof of your film. Daniels reflected on growing up on spoof films, like Not Another Teen Movie. That's another one. And here you go. And Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Okay. And they just was, imitating those different movies. It says, after having played the parody versions of Medea and Perry himself, Daniels shared that he's gained a greater respect for the Mia Coppola filmmaker. Both Fox and Daniels feel that Perry will love the film and don't anticipate any backlash. Not Another Church Movie, which is Mac's interpretation of outlandish comedies that pays homage to the works of Keenan Ivory, Wayans, Robert Townsend, and Tyler Perry. Also stars Kyla Pratt, Jasmine Guy, Lamorne Morris, and Tisha Campbell. Jasmine Guy is in it as well. So y'all make sure y'all check out Not Another Church Movie in theaters on May the 10th. So now speaking of Tyler Perry, what's the issue with Tyler Perry and Arsenio Hall? And did y'all know that there was an issue? What could the issue be? What could the issue be? Let's see what we have.
So I didn't think I needed Swiffer until I saw how easily it picked up my hair every time I dried it. It only takes a minute. Look at that. The heavy-duty cloths are extra thick for amazing trap and lock, even for his hair. Wow, you'll love Swiffer or your money back.
You ready?
Oh, no.
Try my Old Spice. You can use it on your pits, chest, and even your...
I'm black. I'm black, man. I'm the biggest minority you know about. I don't want to hear that gay trash, man. I've got gay friends I've had on the show. Because you don't know them or it ain't who you want on the show, you got a problem with it?
Preserving the integrity of Black comedians should be a shared commitment, transcending racial boundaries. Figures like Arsenio Hall have exemplified this responsibility, striving to safeguard the reputation of Black comedians. However, recent reports suggest that Hall is disillusioned with his efforts, feeling that they've been futile due to individuals like Tyler Perry, who, in his view, undermine the progress made. For those who missed his influential era, Arsenio Hall is renowned as a stand-up comedian and actor who hosted a groundbreaking late-night talk show from 1989 to 1994. His show quickly became a sensation, offering a refreshing departure from the traditional late-night format.
Great show.
We all gotta admit, Arsenio Hall definitely was the man. And Arsenio Hall had pretty much everybody on his show. And one thing about Arsenio Hall always kept it real. I give it to Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall swiftly gained fame for revolutionizing late-night television with his relaxed demeanor and eclectic mix of guests. One of the most memorable features was Burton Richardson's drawn-out introduction, elongating the O in Arsenio before enthusiastically exclaiming, "Hall." This signature style, coupled with Arsenio's iconic stance, head bowed, hands clasped, legs forming an A, became emblematic of the show's laid-back charm. The Arsenio Hall show broke new ground, leaving an indelible mark on American pop culture. Its impact on music and its commitment to diverse representation resonated deeply, making it a cultural touchstone. By making late-night TV more inviting to a wider audience, it became a phenomenon of its time, with catchphrases and introductions etching themselves into the collective memory. Despite its absence from the airwaves for over 20 years, the Arsenio Hall show remains fondly remembered, its influence still evident in today's media landscape.
Again, how smart Arsenio is.
Smart enough to weather efforts by his competitors to keep big-name celebrities off his show.
Hall is often celebrated for revolutionizing the way the public perceived political candidates. One notable instance was when he welcomed then-unknown candidate Bill Clinton onto his show. In a spontaneous move, Hall invited Clinton to join the band and play the saxophone, a skill Clinton had honed in high school. Clinton enthusiastically accepted the challenge. Reflecting on this moment, Hall remarked, "I got a little bit of credit for showing him to a younger demographic, and I got a little credit for changing how people run for the highest office in the land." If the Arsenio Hall show had been around in 2016, it's plausible that the outcome of the presidential election could have been influenced, particularly considering its historical impact on Bill Clinton's campaign in 1992. Clinton's appearance on the show played a significant role in his ability to resonate with young voters and the urban community, including people of color. His charismatic performance, complete with shades and saxophone skills, helped him connect with a demographic that might have otherwise felt disconnected from politics. In contrast, Hillary Clinton faced criticism for what some perceived as pandering to the Black community during her campaign. Bill Clinton, often regarded as the closest thing to a Black president before Obama, had a unique ability to bridge gaps and appeal to a diverse audience. Had Hillary Clinton been given the opportunity to showcase her relatability on a platform like the Arsenio Hall show, perhaps her appeal to voters, particularly among young and urban demographics, would have been strengthened. The show's ability to humanize candidates and make them more relatable could have potentially impacted the election outcome. But Cochran's devotional explained that Hall had a much bigger and largely unacknowledged influence on global culture. Hall used his unapologetically Black late-night party as a platform to showcase talented musicians of color, including hip-hop artists who were then mostly unknown to white audiences. East Coast, West Coast, New Jack, crossover pop, they were all there. This was only about a year after Yo. MTV Raps hit the scene, and a year before In Living Color and Fox's hip-hop-centric lineup, she tweeted. So,
drop a 1 if y'all watched the Arsenio Hall. Drop a 1 if y'all used to watch the Arsenio Hall show. Drop a 2 if you didn't. I used to love the Arsenio Hall show. I used to watch it every night, 11 o'clock.
though there weren't many spaces to see our artists and our culture on mainstream TV, more evidence that diversity in entertainment matters. Cochran posted short clips of notable segments that will take you all the way back. Hall wasn't playing around. The bookers for the other late night shows probably ain't even know what a Das Epps or a Fushnicken was, she says. Arsenio did, though. Then she shared this clip of the late Luther Vandross, who was a guest on Hall's very first show along with Brooke Shields and Leslie Nielsen, and it took my breath away. Vandross dropped a quick a cappella version of Let Me Take You Home, a song that remains indelible on everybody's hippocampus and heart, and it was like he never left us.
My first musical guest was this man, and Marla, I know, you know, that this is what I wanted.
The song, with its themes of longing and intimacy, resonated deeply with listeners who were navigating their own emotions and desires. However, revisiting it now, they realized that Luther Vandross's longing stemmed from a vastly different experience than their own. Vandross, a closeted gay man, passed away in 2005, unable to witness the increasing acceptance and affirmation of LGBTQ+ individuals in society. According to a 2017 interview with his friend Patti LaBelle, Vandross chose to remain private about his ST, partly out of consideration for his predominantly female fan base, and primarily to avoid upsetting his mother. LaBelle shared this insight on the Bravo show Watch What Happens Live, shedding light on Vandross's personal struggles and decisions. Basically, he did not want his mother to be upset, although she might have known, but he wasn't going to come out and say this to the world. One can't help but wonder if Arsenio Hall, had his show continued, might have played a role in accelerating societal acceptance and understanding. Sadly, the show was canceled due to declining ratings. However, Queen Latifah orchestrated a heartfelt farewell segment where Vandross paid tribute to Hall, acknowledging his profound impact on both the show's audience and American culture at large. Vandross's words underscored the depth of affection and
Save money with Snapshot ProView.
Damn
Instant
ass.
savings on your commercial auto insurance and vehicle.
gratitude felt towards Hall, suggesting that his departure left a significant void in the fabric of American entertainment. People love this man so unconditionally, and he's been part of our lives and done so much for us, Vandross told the audience on Hall's final show. I'm sad to see you go because America is going to have a big chunk missing. During the early 90s, when many black comedians were heavily influenced by Richard Pryor, Arsenio Hall stood out by infusing his own brand of comedy with broad appeal. With his infectious smile, lively demeanor, and a perspective on life that resonated with audiences of all backgrounds, Arsenio managed to make his humor universally relatable. Throughout the initial 5-year run of his nationally syndicated show from 1989 to 1994, he provided a platform for the black community that was otherwise absent in late-night television, giving voice to issues and perspectives that were often overlooked elsewhere.
This is cable, so I can say it like I really feel. That's a playing motherfucker, boy. That's what I really felt, you know? Magic, you see.
During the era of Jay Leno, Johnny Carson, and Conan O'Brien, the Arsenio Hall Show played a crucial role in promoting artists of color to a broader audience. In the late 80s and early 90s, hip-hop culture had minimal representation, often confined to a 2-hour segment on Yo! MTV Raps. Despite acts like NWA and Tupac emerging as influential figures across genres, their visibility was constrained by the mainstream media's portrayal of them as controversial. However, Arsenio Hall provided a platform for black artists such as Eddie Murphy, Michael Jackson, Will Smith, and Snoop Dogg to express themselves authentically on national television without apology.
What do you hate most about show business?
I don't hate anything about show business. I don't hate it. I love what I do and I love this business. I love it all.
Comedy serves as a powerful conduit for information, and Arsenio Hall's show stood out by not only spotlighting underrepresented entertainers, but also addressing pertinent issues affecting urban communities through entertaining and enlightening segments. Hall brought together prominent gangster rappers like Eazy-E, Ice-T, and NWA, some representing rival gangs, to perform We're All in the Same Gang, a powerful denouncement of gang violence. He also facilitated discussions on pressing issues, such as bringing Magic Johnson to address HIV stigma and inviting Louis Farrakhan to discuss the Nation of Islam and the legacy of Malcolm X. Amidst the backdrop of...
And when he had the minister, Louis Farrakhan, on his show, that's when they shut him down. Because I remember they was protesting him. The Jews, they were protesting at Arsenio Hall. And they told him, if you have the minister Louis Farrakhan on your show will get canceled, and it'll be a long time before you make it back on anybody's network. Not long after he had the minister Farrakhan on his late night show, his show was canceled. And it took a long time for Arsenio Hall to get back on anybody's network.
Of the LA riots and national attention on police brutality, Arsenio emerged as a beacon of positivity and unity within the black community. As competition intensified from programs like those hosted by Letterman, Leno, and the emerging Jon Stewart, the Arsenio Hall Show faced declining ratings, leading to its end in 1994. However, before its conclusion, the show made history by hosting an...
That's not why his show got canceled. It ain't had nothing to do with them ratings. Exactly, Positive Vibes. Once the Jews get mad, everything gets canceled. Now, the question is, should he have the minister on his show? Sure. He had everybody else on there. And this is the one thing, if you ever listen to anybody that says anything about Minister Louis Farrakhan, nobody, they've said a lot about the Minister Farrakhan, but nobody to this day yet has called Minister Louis Farrakhan a liar. See, that's the only thing that I'm looking for when it comes to an individual speaking. Is he lying? If they can't tell me that he or she is lying, then why wouldn't I listen to them? Right? Now, if you could prove, if you could say, yeah, they lying, then we got something. But to this day, nobody has never called the minister Louis Farrakhan a liar. But that's why he got canceled, because they told him not to have the minister on his show, and he had the minister on his show.
An iconic hip-hop cipher featuring a Tribe Called Quest, MC Lyte, KRS-One, and other notable names who came together to bid Hall farewell.
And this is how we gonna do this. This is for you, Arsenio.
Following his tenure as a talk show host, Arsenio Hall continued to thrive as a comedian and actor, notably co-starring with Eddie Murphy in Coming to America and lending his voice to Winston in the Ghostbusters cartoon, alongside various other television appearances. The anticipation was palpable when CBS announced the return of the Arsenio Hall Show in 2013. However, its brief revival underscored a sobering reality. Despite the passage of time, little had changed.
So from 1994 all the way up to 2013. That's what, 20 years later, 19 years later? All because he stood up for what was right. Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael, 60 Minutes, all the white shows had the minister on there. So why did they get mad? Because Arsenio had the minister on there. Because when Arsenio had him on there, Arsenio didn't try to track the minister up on no BS or none of that. Arsenio Hall let the minister speak everything that the minister wanted to speak. It's the same way with Monique. It's the same way with Monique. And that's the problem that we always run into. Why we can't be who we are. If we don't like something, we just don't like it. Why do we have to, because they say so, or they feel as though we should like this, why do we gotta like it? If they feel as though we shouldn't like that person, why? Your beef is your beef. Why I gotta beef with who you want me to beef with? And the person that you want me to beef with just so happened to be my brother or my sister. Why? And then we wonder why we in the condition that we in.
Brutality continued to dominate national discourse, and late-night television remained predominantly the domain of cisgender white men. In 2013, Arsenio Hall returned to familiar territory, but still managed to stand out amidst competitors like Stewart, Colbert, and O'Brien. His devoted audience, affectionately known as the Dog Pound, continued to rally behind him with their signature fist-pumping woof, 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 woof. However, even with this loyal support, it wasn't enough to sustain his show. Despite its short-lived run, the second iteration of the Arsenio Hall Show brought a much-needed fresh perspective to late-night television. While figures like Trevor Noah have since emerged on Comedy Central, their shows often still adhere to the narrative established by Stewart and Colbert. It's insufficient merely to provide representation for Black individuals in late-night programming if their perspectives aren't authentically rooted in the Black experience. However, now reportedly, according to him, tables are turning, and what he did is now diminishing by the dominant figures like Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry's ascent from the Atlanta theater scene scene to box office success with his Medea series is undeniable. However, his journey has been accompanied by controversy. There have been rumors of Perry's ego causing clashes, even with influential figures like Oprah. In the competitive realm of Hollywood, maneuvering without encountering controversy can be difficult, and it seems Perry has not been immune to such challenges.
When I'm hearing all this noise, man, it was crazy because there were no black people on television. Before diversity became a thing, Tyler Perry was the only one out there for a long time.
After finding success at the box office, Tyler Perry expanded into television with his hit sitcom House of Pain. However, controversy erupted during negotiations for a syndication deal and a spin-off series titled Meet the Browns. Reports surfaced that Perry dismissed 4 writers who had sought union contracts, sparking a contentious situation within the industry. Writer Terry Jackson expressed disappointment, stating to Deadline, "We were good enough to create over 100 episodes, but now when it comes to reaping the benefits of the show being syndicated and having other spin-offs from it, he decides to let us go unless we accept a horrible offer." Tyler Perry responded to the writers' room dispute by asserting control over the creative process, stating that he would personally handle all writing duties. However, Perry's conflicts with unions extended beyond the writers' room. In 2015, actor unions SAG-AFTRA and Actors Equity took action by barring their members from participating in Perry's stage play Medea on the Run due to his production company's refusal to sign union contracts. While Perry may prioritize profit maximization, his approach has not garnered universal approval with it.
I couldn't figure it out. I was trying everything, but then look like she had a stomachache again the next day.
Within the industry.
There's a camera on you, baby.
There's a camera on me right
back behind you.
Oh, hello, praise the Lord. We'd like to tell everybody in Dallas that we are on our way. Thank you.
In the wake of the success of House of Pain and Meet the Browns, African-American journalist and cultural critic Jamilah Lemieux penned an open letter to Tyler Perry, which was published by NPR. In her letter, Lemieux expressed her discomfort with Perry's use of stereotypes in his work. She wrote, "Through her, the country has laughed at one of the most important members of the Black community, Mother Dear, the beloved matriarch. I just can't quite get with seeing Mother Dear played by a 6'3" man with prosthetic breasts flopping in the wind. Our mothers and grandmothers deserve much more than that. Heck, our fathers and grandfathers deserve more."
Now, a lot of people, even to this day, had problems with Tyler Perry's, mainly Medea, but a lot of black folks had problems with Tyler Perry movies because he was always using stereotypes. You know, the best movie of Tyler Perry that I love was Daddy's Little Girls, because believe it or not, including myself, there were a lot of single black fathers out here, even to this day. But in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, there were a lot of single black dads out here. But they were saying that besides that Daddy's Little Girl, all of Tyler Perry's movies were stereotypes. And it was always degrading us black men. Diary of a Mad Black Man. Not to say that that don't take place, but that's what a lot of the issues, or that's what one of the main issues was from a lot of people when it came to Tyler Perry movies. They was like, it's stereotypes. He always used stereotypes.
Mr. Perry, you have told the Hollywood old guard to kiss your backside, and I appreciate that, brother. But many black folks have expressed some of the very same attitudes about your work that white critics have. Acclaimed film director Spike Lee is one of the notable figures who criticized Tyler Perry for his use of stereotypical characters in his work. Lee is well known for openly addressing this issue with Perry.
But I still think there a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money.
Spike Lee went on to suggest that
because let's be honest, if we go back to the 60s and the 70s, those Tyler Perry movies wouldn't have stood a chance. If you go back to those movies, to the original black movies in the 60s and the 70s, they call it black exploitation, But the only reason why they called that is to give it a black eye, to make it seem like it was negative across the world, because you had the majority of the actors that was in it were black, and all of those movies, you never saw no type of homosexuality. In those 60s and 70s black films, those were men, and those men represented it like men. It wasn't no plan, it was none of that. Go back to the old black movies, you know. And I always come to Good Times, the sitcom Good Times. Remember, they didn't even have James, they didn't even have a black father written in that show. But the writers, who was black, Eric Monte and Mike Evans, they was like, a black family, you got to give them a black husband. Florida even mentioned that. Florida said, I can't do it if you don't give me a husband. You can't have a show about a black family and a black husband, a black man. She said, no boyfriend, no living. She said, you got to give me a husband. Then they wrote in James. So I'm not downplaying Tyler Perry. I'm just co-signing what Spike Lee said. The buffoonery. Y'all remember when I was young, we in our community, shit. I mean, it was a man and a woman and kids. All the buffoonery that we see today, it wouldn't have existed during those times.
Because of these stereotypical movies, individuals like Tyler Perry were breaking records. In his view, the industry could do better by avoiding such biased and nonsensical movies that feature designated, one-dimensional characters.
Breaking records, but we could do better.
Tyler Perry's approach to casting and character portrayal has become noticeable to viewers, leading to discussions about his business strategy. Some individuals argue that Perry tends to cast dark-skinned actors in villainous roles, while portraying white-skinned individuals as heroes in his movies and shows. This perception has generated discussion and debate within his audience.
Pitiful black woman being abused by a no-good, dark-skinned man.
I just said that. And that's why people have issues with him. The stereotypes. I hate these ads.
Bounty Mega Roll, 4 rolls in 1. Man, and then saved and rescued by the perfect light-skinned man.
During an event, Chris Rock also pointed out the recurring theme in Tyler Perry's movies, noting that there is often a limited portrayal of kind and respectful black-skinned boyfriends in Perry's films. He supported his statement by referencing Tupac Shakur, suggesting that Perry's films could offer a broader range of character representation. He said, Tupac might be a political leader if he was alive, but then again, Tupac might be in a Tyler Perry movie right now, so you don't know. Tupac might be the bad, dark-skinned boyfriend and the Tyler Perry movie. Chris Rock's point was that Tupac was a highly renowned and popular rapper during his time. However, if Tupac were given the opportunity to appear in a Tyler Perry movie, Rock believed there would be a minimal chance that Tupac would be cast as a heroic character based on Perry's typical casting patterns. He further went on saying, I would hope he's a senator, but he might be kicking Jill Scott down a flight of stairs. In Tyler Perry movies, there's always okay. Chris Rock's perspective aligned with Spike Lee's criticism, emphasizing that some prominent movies may achieve success because of Tyler Perry's perceived biased casting and storytelling choices. Both Rock and Lee raised concerns about the impact of such ideology on the film industry.
You know, are we going back to Mantan Moreland and sleep and eat?
Yet, if those films, we're talking about Tyler Perry.
Examining the entertainment industry reveals the prevalence of colorism within its ranks. Hollywood in particular has come under significant scrutiny, often through social media campaigns utilizing hashtags that swiftly transition from Twitter to mainstream news outlets. Some argue that Harvey Weinstein, a convicted SO, was among the first high-profile figures to cast a shadow over the industry. In 2017, numerous allegations of SA surfaced, shining a light on the darker facets of Hollywood's culture.
There's a new documentary that is all about the dark side of Hollywood and how some power players allegedly use their positions to prey on young aspiring actors.
In the wake of the #Me Too movement controversy, numerous scandals rocked Hollywood. These scandals included comedian Kevin Hart stepping down as the Oscars host in 2019 due to the resurfacing of past homophobic tweets. Additionally, the #Oscars So White campaign demanded increased diversity in the Oscars and greater recognition for people of color and marginalized communities. So Hollywood's reputation has been significantly tarnished, with the once illustrious Walk of Fame appearing more like an uninspiring walk of shame without stars.
Kevin Hart has stepped down from hosting this year's Oscars. He put out a statement on Twitter tonight saying, "I have made the choice to step down."
In a February afternoon in 1940s America, actress Hattie McDaniel achieved a historic milestone by winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in Gone with the Wind, 1940. Notably, she became the first African American to receive this prestigious film award. While celebrating her victory and leaving an indelible mark on cinema history, the joy was tempered by the stark reality that she would be segregated from the rest of the attendees at an Oscar ceremony that effectively operated as a whites-only event. Instead of being a celebration, this event was marked more by segregation than jubilation.
I sincerely hope I shall always be a credit to my race and to the motion picture industry. My heart is too full to tell you just how I feel.
80 years later, the film industry still grapples with a form of routine discrimination, despite some progress in increasing diversity. The 2020 Oscar ceremony was marred by racial controversies that have become all too common for both viewers and industry participants. Major snubs, such as the omission of Lupita Nyong'o for her outstanding performance in the 2019 film Us, exemplify this issue.
And the Oscar goes to Lupita Nyong'o.
And now it is in the form of movies and shows in which Tyler Perry is one of the major examples. And this is not hidden now, as we have seen in his movies, that black-skinned actors are always villains in his movies. One major example is Steve Harris, who played Charles McCarter in Tyler's one of the most classic movies, Diary of the Black Madwoman. He was a successful lawyer, but far from being an ideal husband. Shockingly, Charles discloses to his wife Helen the existence of another woman in his life and proceeds to treat her rudely, eventually kicking her out of their home.
You don't see it?
No.
You ain't good for nothing. Find my bank statement and get the accountant on the phone. Then call Calvin and tell him to get over here and you can leave.
The challenges of limited and stereotypical roles for black actors seem to persist into the 1990s. Blair Underwood recalled that during this period, virtually every black actor and actress in Hollywood, regardless of their name recognition or skill level, found themselves auditioning for the same roles, highlighting the lack of diverse opportunities in the industry.
I'm excited about this documentary. I've been a history buff like most of my life. I love history.
You do?
I don't know a lot about history, but I love.
Ion Overman also appeared as a negative character in one of Tyler's movies named Medea Goes to Jail as Linda Davis. Linda in the movie, an envious assistant district attorney who is engaged to Joshua. She secretly engages in illegal activities such as fraud, evidence tampering, and providing false legal documents involving some of the people she has prosecuted. Ron Rico Lee portrayed Chuck, an assistant district attorney and Joshua's friend in the film. Another actor, Brian White, was signed as a villain by Tyler Perry in his film I Can Do Bad All by Myself. He played the role of Randy, who is an abusive boyfriend and the antagonist of the show.
I seen the way you've been looking at me. See, this here my house and I can let you and two little nappy boys stay here.
Right. You might notice that all the negative characters in Tyler's movies and
Family owned and operated since 1984. Lakeside Heating and Air Conditioning, a train comfort specialist.
and shows are very abusive towards women. This thing has been very concerning, and many people raise their voices for this too. One such example was seen in his shows Bruh and Sistas. Bruh seems to revolve around the lives of 4 black men as they navigate various aspects of their lives, including relationships, friendships, and careers. The synopsis suggests that these men share a deep and enduring bond that resembles family, even if they aren't related by blood. Their close-knit friendship is characterized by warmth and camaraderie, evident from their bright and happy smiles in the promotional material.
She moving in. She seemed nervous. I'm a little confused.
Wait. Okay, take it back.
On the other hand, Sistas appears to focus on the lives of 4 single black women. The tagline "single but never solo" suggests that the show may explore their experiences as they navigate the ups and downs of being single. However, the synopsis provided doesn't mention their friendships or careers, and the promotional image features separate pictures of the 4 women rather than them being together. The common thread among them seems to be their shared status as single women, and it's possible that the series will delve into their individual journeys in the dating world and beyond.
You want me? Look at me.
I'm looking.
Karen, I don't love you no more. I don't want to be with you no more.
His other film, A Fall from Grace, was also criticized for colorism. The film A Fall from Grace tells the story of Grace Waters, portrayed by Crystal Fox, who decides to pursue love again after a painful experience with her ex-husband's affair. However, as she gets closer to her new husband, played by Mehcad Brooks, she uncovers dark secrets about him. Grace's vulnerability takes a dark turn, leading to her being accused of murder and fraud, ultimately landing her in jail. The film explores themes of love, betrayal, and the consequences of one's actions.
When you wake up, you don't know that today will be the day to change up.
And see, that's the difference between Arsenio Hall and Tyler Perry. That's the difference between a Bill Cosby and a Tyler Perry. That's why Bill Cosby ended up in prison. Everybody knows now Bill Cosby wanted to own his own network. And if Bill Cosby would have owned his own network, you wouldn't have seen no stereotypes. See, that's what's holding us back. If you look and if you study out culture and see everything that has to do with positive images, you don't see it. Yes or no? You don't see it. You don't hear it. Y'all do know that there once upon a time, like drill music, trap music, gangster rap, trap music, there was a time when there were conscious rappers. Yeah. The conscious rappers was rapping about peace. The conscious rappers was rapping about raising a family. The conscious rappers was rapping positive, common sense. Common always been a positive rapper. You had Common, Poor Righteous Teachers, Brand Nubian, X-Clan, Tribe Called Quest. You had a lot of rappers that was conscious. We talking 86, 87, 88. The rappers was called conscious rappers. 5%ers. And they was dropping knowledge. Way before gangster rap. Way before drill. Way before all of that. They seen it. Now, NWA come along. And they knew if we promote this gangster rap, the black community, particularly the black men, because if you get the men, the women gonna follow. There was no video vixens. Them girls wasn't in them videos showing their bodies. Females used to wear big clothes with a shirt tied around their butt so you couldn't see their butt. but they seen this and they knew it. We rather have the black people following NWA than these conscious rappers. So it's been a struggle. It was a struggle in our community. For the people like Positive Vibes and the rest of y'all that wasn't around during that time, this is when the community started to decline because of the boomfumery. And this is the issue with Arsenio Hall and Tyler Perry. This is how Arsenio Hall ended up getting blacklisted, getting blackballed, along with Spike Lee and the rest of them. They got Tyler Perry. Notice, just notice. Now, don't get me wrong. The Tyler Perry movies and the plays and all that, they good. They good. Don't get me wrong. However, it's a bunch of stereotypes. And stereotypes does what? The people starts to imitate these stereotypes if that's all they're seeing. Take a child, take a baby. If that's all a child is seeing, if that's all a child is hearing, what you expect? I see you, Lagging. Salute, Lagging. I see you, Pee-wee. What you expect? So when Tyler Perry come along, Tyler Perry was put in place. He was put in that position for that particular reason, to get rid of the Arsenio Halls. Do you know the fight? Do you know the struggle that Arsenio Hall went through? But there's more. I'll come back. There's more. And once again, all of this,
Grace, please tell me what happened.
Tyler Perry.
everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is all allegedly. It's for educational and entertainment purposes only.
These movies, including Acrimony, often generate discussions and debates on social media platforms like Twitter. Some viewers criticize Perry for repeatedly portraying the trauma that Black women experience at the hands of men in his films, while others argue that he is shedding light on real-life issues that many Black women can relate to. These debates highlight the impact of Perry's...
And what happened? Salute, Sages. And what happened? Now, look at the mess that Black women are in. Black women are so jacked up. Black women are so messed up that other Black women see it. And other Black women are calling it out. Other Black women are saying, stop it. We as Black women look ridiculous. We as Black women has messed up. There are a lot of Black female content creators. You think Kevin Samuels told it like it was. There are a lot of Black female content creators that call a spade a spade. And a lot of them Black female content creators see it for what it is, and they see it. It's not the Black men. That's why the Black men don't want to date us. That's why the Black men turn their nose up at us and look and go the other way, because of what we are doing. But that comes from the stereotypes that's always pushed in our communities. Now you got Tyler Perry pushing this narrative. All his narratives was about what? About men, Black men, as they pointed out, particularly dark-skinned Black men, doing Black women dirty. It was a reason. It's a reason for it all. There's more.
Storytelling and his ability to provoke conversations around important topics. One of the internet users said, Tyler Perry refuses to produce a show that doesn't involve the emotional torture, and beating of the downtrodden Black women. Another.
And that's pimping. You know, that's pimping 101. Remember, Steve Harvey allegedly done it too. Remember his book? Y'all remember Steve Harvey's book? Act like a woman, but think like a man. What was you doing, Steve? What was you doing? all that knowledge and all that advice you gave, your wife allegedly turned around and cheated on your ass. See, it's easy to manipulate a woman. It's very easy to manipulate a woman. That's why in the Garden of Eden, who did the devil go after? Who did the devil pursue to trick? The woman. And if y'all remember, many years ago, especially when women went to buy a car, what did your parents, what did your dad, what did your mom, what did your relatives, what did they always tell y'all women before y'all went and brought a car? They told y'all women, make sure you take a man with you. Yes or no? And it was a time when women thought like that. But through the affirmative action, the INDE, all that independent BS, the Tyler Perry movies, it crippled y'all as women because it forced y'all and it made y'all think that y'all don't need a man. That's BS, baby. Listen to me. That's BS, baby. A woman needs a man. I don't want to hear nothing. A woman needs a man. Let's move on.
One wrote, Tyler Perry has literally went from sleeping in his car broke to having a net worth of $600 million, opening a huge studio in Atlanta to employ aspiring black actresses and actors. So put some respect on his name. His movies tells the pain women go through. Critics of Tyler Perry argue that despite his contributions to the black community, he should also be held accountable for his missteps. They highlight instances in his movies and television shows where black women are portrayed in a negative light or subjected to unpleasant behavior. Some believe that Perry's works perpetuate respectability politics as the only path to happiness and success for his characters.
Manage it, grow it, through all the growing pains of it all. You've managed to do it all on your own, figuring it out and learning as you've gone. Calling me a lot.
Additionally, there are concerns that he assumes a level of creative control that might overlook other talented black and brown female writers and directors in the industry, as evidenced by his adaptation of Ntozake Shang's play For Colored Girls Who Have Considered S When the Rainbow Is Enough. These criticisms reflect a desire for a more nuanced and responsible portrayal of characters and narratives in Perry's work.
Stop right there, 80s, baby. You never hear a narrative. You never hear men talking about we don't need no woman. You don't never see no kind of film, no kind of movie with black people in it and a black man says, I don't need no woman. But you always heard, and even to this day, you always hear the narrative. You don't need no man. You don't need him. That's why I said stop it. This ain't about the men. This is about the women. And it's time. It's time that you see it. It's time that y'all see it for what it is. Them babies is hurting for that narrative. You know what I mean? If you come to me, I'm going to tell you, I need a woman. But how many women can you line up? And how many women, matter of fact, take 10 black women. I promise you, probably only one out of that 10 is going to say, I need a man. And even that one that's will say she need a man, she gonna flip it. Well, I really don't need a man. Now you take 10 black men and you ask them 10 black men, do you need a woman? And I promise you, all 10 black men will say, I need a woman. See, once again, the stereotypes, the narratives that hurted us. Let's go back. Remember? And even to this day, when Mother's Day roll around, you see all women celebrating Mother's Day. You don't see not one man jumping up talking about, well, I'm the father and the mother. Huh? Now let's fast forward a month later to Father's Day. Huh? What happens on Father's Day? You see all these women, all these black women talking about, well, I'm the mother and the father. I was the father. I did. Stop it. Stop it. Stop right there. We got to destroy that narrative. Children have places, men have places, and women have places too. And black women have gotten out of place. I said it. I said it. Just look around. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. This how you know I'm telling the truth. Do y'all realize that there are a lot of black female content creators that will tell y'all exactly what I'm telling y'all? There are a lot of black female content creators that see it. So when you go back to Arsenio Hall, and I hope y'all was paying attention because they were dropping jewels. They were dropping jewels when it came to Arsenio Hall. Now, he got canceled in 94, and it took 19 years. You might as well say 20 years for him to come back. But if you go back and if you listen and if you watch any of Arsenio Hall shows, Arsenio Hall kept it real. And Arsenio Hall gave a platform. What'd he say? Arsenio Hall had rappers from the West Coast and East Coast that wasn't even famous. He had on his show. Arsenio Hall show could go political. It could go social. Arsenio Hall show could go in any aspect that you wanted to go in. Right? So it's always a chess game. It's always doing what? Using one black against another black. Right? And that's why the competition level amongst black people is so high. Look at social media now. Just look at social media now. Everybody competing against everybody. Why? Where did it come from? Where did it start at? We all competing against each other. See? But now that woman is really pushed out there now because at one time, the black woman, she knew. And at one time, the black woman would not degrade that black man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. At one time, the black woman will hold that black man down because that black woman knew. She knew that the system was using her. Not no more. Not no more. So now you have this era of black women. Is it the 304s? Who? What label? What did y'all want to call y'all? You got it now that these black women is running around here. Y'all see them on Instagram. Every time I turn on Instagram, ass, titties. I'm a man. You damn right I be looking. And Miss Parker be getting mad at me sometimes. But like I tell her, babe, what the hell you expect me to do? You want me to look at her with ass and titties, or you want me to look at him? Instagram, ass, titties, all down my timeline. I be on Facebook, ass and titties, all down my timeline. I'm a man. You hear me, Don play? What you expect? I mean, you hear me? But why? That's what I'm saying. Why? Think about it. Think about it.
You know, when you think about film and television, it's been done the same way for years. You know, you record an image and you put it out there. Well, just because it's been done that way for many, many years.
Not only actors, but Black comedians are also disgusted by Perry. Over the years, several Black comedians have incorporated cross-dressing into their comedy routines to elicit laughter. This choice involves
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars, wasting tons of time on troubleshooting with attendees? If so,
juxtaposing their commanding presence with the humorous visual of them in dresses and heels. While this approach generates comedic moments, it also carries underlying implications. What are the consequences of using cross-dressing as a comedic tool in this context? As Dave Chappelle said,
Certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers got to wear a dress.
Think about it. And what Dave Chappelle said, he said, by the time he said, was it the manager was like, yeah, you got to wear this. He said, okay. But by the time he got to his dress trailer, they already had the dresses in there before they even ran it by him, as if they knew he was going to agree to wear the dress. And that's what Dave Chappelle said. He said the dress was already in his trailer. They mentioned it to him. He shot it down. He was like, hell no. So when he go to the trailer, the dress was already in there, as if they knew he was going to agree to wear the dress. Go back to the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. Black men ain't wearing no dresses. Black men ain't dress up like that. That was buffoonery. Man, is you crazy? You gonna get a beat down. Now, for those men that were transformers, for those men that, went that way, they kept it on the low. They wasn't on Front Street with it. I see you, Deborah. Salute, Deborah. They didn't, dress up and all of that buffoonery stuff. They kept it very, very, very respectful because of the times that we were in. We were dealing with men, the masculinity. If you get a chance, watch Superfly. Watch Uptown Saturday Night. Watch the black movies from back in the 60s and the 70s. Watch Shaft. You ain't see not one black man with a dress on. Am I lying? Don Play says Hollywood is a weird place. And that's facts. You ain't see, because a man dressing, it was unheard of. It was unheard of. Our masculinity was there. The masculinity was there. A woman, she might, and this is why so many black women are losing their lives today. I gotta call it a spade a spade. I gotta call it how it is, because of the majority black woman don't know her place. Yeah, I said it. The average black woman don't know her place. Well, what's our place, Shank? Shut up. That's first and foremost. So you mean to tell me, Shank, you want to... Nah, I don't want y'all to shut up. We all want y'all to shut up because y'all talk too much.
Tyler Perry has not only achieved success in the gospel play arena, but has also effectively expanded his triumph into the film industry, bringing his unique portrayal to a broader cinematic audience.
No, it's a stage play. It's like Broadway, just with black people.
Remarkably, Tyler Perry's latest book, Don't Make a Black Woman Take Off Her Earrings, even secured a spot on the prestigious New York Times bestsellers list. This raises an intriguing question. What lies beneath this phenomenon? Why do these artists choose to engage in acts that may appear to challenge traditional masculinity? And why does the audience enthusiastically embrace the spectacle of black men in such situations?
Why? Why are we challenging black masculinity? Do you know the beauty of black masculinity? When Shank Rock is a man, he ain't gotta tolerate all that BS from no woman. Do you know the beauty that will come from me? Don play. If you let Don play be, come on. Any black man. Do you know the beauty? Go back to Pops. Go back to Granddaddy. Y'all know the beauty of a black man when he's not tested by his woman, when he's not challenged by his woman, when his woman knows her place. I said it again. When she knows her place, do y'all know the beauty that comes from that man? When y'all ain't always being sassy to him?
One perspective is that portraying black masculinity in a more feminine context could potentially reduce the perception of threat and increase comfort for certain individuals. These cross-dressing depictions of black men might serve as a counterbalance to the dominant and assertive image often associated with hip-hop culture.
Because this industry is a stir.
Over the course of several years, Hollywood has been widely criticized for its role in perpetuating various stereotypes, which unfortunately shape the public's perception of black individuals for a significant portion of the audience. During this period, a debate emerged, suggesting that limited opportunities within the entertainment industry often pressured black artists to accept stereotypical roles as a means of sustaining their careers and livelihoods.
A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you.
While the entertainment industry has not yet achieved full racial equality, contemporary performers do have a certain degree of agency over their choices. What remains intriguing in the context of these modern figures is their apparent willingness to take on cross-dressing roles, with Kevin Hart's name being particularly notable in this regard.
Pope Conventioning is lifting her arms into her signature muscle man pose.
Many individuals have voiced their opposition to witnessing more instances of black men in dresses, arguing that this phenomenon has reached its saturation point. They contend that our society is already influenced by numerous factors that may undermine the perception of black men's masculinity, and there's no need to further contribute to these forces in any way.
When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
It is indeed heart-wrenching that we are opposed to witnessing further instances of black men in dresses. This phenomenon seems to have reached its limit, and our society already grapples with numerous factors that can undermine the perception of black men's masculinity. We believe there's no need to contribute to these forces any further.
I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you gotta know that you're a brand.
And as compared to Tyler, Arsenio has done too much for the fellow comedians and supported them.
Did you hear? Arsenio has done too much for the comedians. Because go back to when was this show? 89 through 94. Do y'all know all the comedians? Do y'all know they all came where? On who platform? On whose show? Steve Harvey? Bernie? All of them came through Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall gave all of them a platform to come on and display and show what they had. Now, Tyler Perry. Let's start right there. He did give a lot of people jobs. Can't take that. But when do you stop the buffoonery? When do you stop the boomfoomery? It's like another Medea show, another this, another that. Okay, when is you going to start producing positive images? When are you going to really, really start showing family? Because at the end of the day, we got education. Some of us got too much education. At the end of the day, we got money. A rich man has no place in heaven. We got all of the above, right? But we don't have family. Go back. When we didn't have money, we had family. Now, y'all tell me, which one do we need? Money or family? Y'all tell me, which one do we need? A woman that thinks she's a mother and father? You ain't no mother and father. You's a mother. You can't play the role as the father. Which one do we need? The woman that pushes the narrative. I'm a mother and a father. I could do the father thing too. Or do we need a woman that's a mother and a man that's a father? Talk to me. Since y'all want to run y'all mouth, let's run our mouth now. Talk to me. You need that family. You need that family. And I know. But do y'all know? So the issue with Arsenio and Tyler is that they basically use Tyler as a pawn. Tyler Perry allegedly, all this is allegedly, Tyler Perry allegedly was used as a pawn because once Tyler Perry and the Medea and all of that came to play, our masculinity, it was already sinking, but once Tyler Perry arm became so strong, black masculinity went out the window. Like I said, if you know, you know. If you've been there, you definitely know. I was born in the 70s. So I know black masculinity. I was born 72. So I know black masculinity. You know, just a black man's voice. Black man's voice is similar to the roar of a lion. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Back then, when a black man spoke, it was like a lion's roar. What happened to the black man's voice? What happened to the black man's morals, his values? What happened to the principles that he stood for? Can you imagine Shaft, Richard Roundtree in a dress? Can you imagine Bill Cosby? Can you imagine him in a dress? And remember, we had black filmmakers. We had black movie directors. And the reason why the white establishments called it black exploitation, because that's where the name came from. And I want y'all to listen to me very closely. And if you never listen nothing from the old man again, listen to this. They use that word black exploitation as a trick to trick us the same way that they use eating watermelon as a trick to trick us. Some of y'all don't even know that it was black people that created watermelons. Huh? Black people were making so much money. Black people was getting rich off of watermelons. If I'm lying, I'm flying. If y'all lend me y'all ear for a few seconds, I could put y'all up on some game. I could educate y'all on some things. So now we growing up, we looking at black exploitation films as something negative. But look at the beauty, look at the art in those black exploitation films. So now you got watermelon. We grew up believing and thinking that watermelon was bad for you. But now what are they telling us about watermelon? Then they started drawing the cartoons. They really tried to deceive us, and they were successful in deceiving us. It's a trick. It's a trick.
Arsenio's impact on late-night TV remains palpable, as evidenced by appearances from groups like Migos on shows such as The Tonight Show and Ellen. While Arsenio may not be poised for a return to the late-night circuit anytime soon, his upcoming stand-up dates at Goodnight's Comedy Club promise to deliver a blend of uproarious stories and insightful life lessons from a trailblazing entertainer. That's it.
Talk to me, y'all. Leggins says, I am white as Snowball and love me some watermelon, Shane. As you should. But see, here's the thing, y'all. And I want y'all to listen to me. Here's the thing. Don't y'all know that the average European, the average Caucasian, don't y'all know that the average white person has been fooled and tricked just as much as the average melanated copper black person has? That's the divide and conquer. I'm going to say it again. Don't y'all know that the average European, the average Caucasian, the average white person have been deceived just like we have? But one thing I can say about today's European and Caucasians, one thing I can say about today's white people are waking up. I see it all the time on TikTok. White people be dropping jewels. White people be like, we gotta tell the truth. It is what it is. Because, as my sister said, we are living in the book of Revelations. Everything will be revealed. So you got Putin from Russia that's speaking on worshiping the black Jesus. You got the average white person that could break it down and drop jewels. And you be like, God damn, what cookout was your ass at? What hood did you grow up in? Is Malcolm X your father? That's just my little sense of humor. That's where we're at today, everyone. And even Jesus eventually opened it up to everybody because, according to the scriptures, Jesus was only sent to the lost sheep of Israel. Right? He was only sent for that which was lost. Got 12 tribes of Israel. Jesus wasn't sent for everybody. Yes, Jesus was a Jew.
we discovered you were with more than just she and I.
Get ready for a new era.
I want to freeze my eggs. I got it.
Some things that were untrue, some intentional lies, and I felt I was being used, and my audience trusts me. And if you're wrong, and I say they're wrong, I'll say it today that they're wrong, and I'll keep that segment in again today.
In the glitzy world of late night television, one name shines bright: Arsenio Hall. His legendary talk show wasn't just entertainment, it was a cultural revolution. But as whispers echo through the corridors of Hollywood, it seems Hall's legacy may be slipping through his fingers. Allegations swirl that his efforts to champion Black comedians are in vain, overshadowed by the looming shadow of Tyler Perry. In the heyday of the late 80s and early 90s, Arsenio Hall ruled the airwaves with his groundbreaking show. It wasn't just about the laughs. It was about representation, about giving a voice to the voiceless.
I like to talk.
Salute, Coach Art. Salute, Coach Art.
One of the most controversial interviews you ever had was Farrakhan.
Yes.
I mean, people were
That was controversial before he came on. I mean, just the fact that it was booked. I noticed it the day it was announced, and it was kind of interesting in that sense. And my producing partner was a Jewish woman, Marla Kell Brown, who actually is Olympic skater Jason Brown's mom.
Okay.
There's a little bit of information that a hip-hop journalist won't want to know. We were shocked at the attention that it got on the day the booking was announced. But we knew our audience. We knew people were interested in him and the coming Million Man March that I had heard him talk about, which was my big interest. I had seen him do a recital and play violin, and I knew his violin teacher was a white lady. I had a curiosity about the man, and like anybody else, I put him on. I thought my audience would want to hear this man, and that's basically what I did. I mean, I'm not a guy that puts you on and the next day I am with the Nation of Islam. I am the same guy I was the day before. I bring people here and I talk to them because I think you might be interested in these people. I'm not exactly sure why booking him caused people to deal with me any differently than Barbara Walters or anybody else that interviewed him. Even if...
What'd he say? Same thing I said. He didn't see what the issue would be with him booking the minister, with him having the minister. Barbara Walters had the minister on there. Phil Donahue had the minister on there. But why so much a problem with Arsenio?
If you think I suck as an interviewer, I have the right to talk also. I didn't like that I was being dealt with different than other people who booked him at...
What'd he say? He didn't like how he was dealt with. Now, these other the Caucasians and them had him on the show. Cool. But how come Arsenio, why was it such a problem? Black masculinity.
The same time, the same month.
Oh, interesting. Because there was always the Hollywood rumor that Arsenio got his show canceled because he had Farrakhan on the show.
Yeah,
You've heard this before.
Yeah, I've heard in the barbershop many times.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I love journalists because they combat the barbershop. And thanks.
That's like me. Now, everybody knows that I covered the Shanquella Robinson case. Now, I was looking forward to having members of the Cabo Six on my platform. I'm a journalist. I go where the stories are at. And I caught so much heat. I caught so much hell because I was on pictures with the attorney of the family. I was on a picture with Ben Crump. I caught so much hell. Like, I'm a journalist. If the Cabo Six wanted to tell their side, they were welcome to pull up on my platform to tell their side. Because after all, if they didn't have a platform to pull up on to tell their side, we would never know. And if y'all remember, Nazir, and I caught so much hell from that, Nazir pulled up on the NCB platform to tell his side. And he caught so much hell. So as journalists, y'all have to understand, as content creators, y'all have to understand that we go where the story takes us.
For being here. My resignation letter was long before the Farrakhan booking. That's on record. It went to a man named Kerry McCluggage at Paramount. And I was still trying to do great shows. But the bottom line is, at the time I resigned, I don't think I knew how to spell Farrakhan.
Don Play says they blackball him. Leggins says, and just because he was a Jew, he died for me and you, Shank, and that we will have eternal life for our sins. He died so we would not have to. Leggins says, y'all have a wonderful night. God bless. All salute, Shank Rock. Appreciate you for pulling up, Leggin. I'll see you on the next demonstration. I'll see you down there, 80s, baby. Wow, I ain't realized I was on here for 2 hours, y'all. Wow. I ain't realized the old man was on here for 2 hours. I ain't gonna hold y'all that much longer. I gotta get up in the morning. Salute, Miss Park. I see you. I ain't gonna hold y'all that much longer. Appreciate you, Don Play. Appreciate you. I hear you. I hear you, 80s, baby. I hear you, 80s, baby. Salute, Pee-wee. Salute, Still Swinging Podcast. I see you.
Hi.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Follow me, sweetie.
The Arsenio Hall show was like the first late night platform for hip hop. Period.
Yeah.
The history of the world, pretty much. I mean, like, Johnny Carson was going to have the Wu-Tang Clan.
Right. And you know, I was proud of that because I tell Russell Simmons this all the time. And anybody else that'll listen to me, because I try to thank those guys when they were young, when LL Cool J was young, when Russell Simmons was young. I would put out offers, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. I would put out offers to old veteran musicians. I don't have to mention names, but people I grew up loving. And I would get a no. And I was like, that's crazy. So Steve and Edie are saying no. Tom Jones is saying no. And these African-American iconic figures that I grew up watching are saying no. And I got it. They were saying no because we do the Johnny Carson show, Arsenio. And that made total sense. They're friends of Johnny's. They've done it for years. I'm this new kid that comes along. And so I had to sit and figure it out. And talking to Russell one day, it kind of focused me because he was telling me about this guy he knew that he was working with that was living with his grandmother. That's how old this kid was. I think this kid might have been 19. And the career was so young, he called him James. And after we continued talking about James, I realized that him and Rick Rubin were working with a gentleman who professionally was going to be called LL Cool J. That period changed my life because I put LL Cool J on my Fox show. This is before the Paramount Arsenio Hall show, before Coming to America. I'm playing around for 11 weeks on this Fox show. I put LL on. I put Houdini on. And the numbers popped, as we say in the business. The ratings looked good. And they had given me that show to hold on to because they had kind of had a battle with Joan Rivers and she left. And I'm not sure all the details, but she left. I'm sitting there and it starts to work. And I realized instead of going after the old school and instead of going after the people that have had an allegiance to Johnny for years, there's a generation of people out there that have never been on a talk show, that go on talk shows and don't get to talk. Like people like Stevie Wonder would say to me, you know, I've done the show, but they don't let me talk on the couch. And that meant something to me. I'm having a gentleman on this Friday named Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory was a stand-up comic when I was a young man, and I used to watch him go on shows. And one day he demanded that after his stand-up, they let him sit and talk. And when they said no, he said, well, then I won't come on. And they had to break. And that's what broke it. Johnny Carson had to let a black comic do his stand-up and then come sit. So I'm going to talk about him, talk about that Friday night when he comes. But basically, hip-hop saved my life, man. Hip-hop gave me a career.
Hip-hop gave Arsenio Hall a career. It was them young boys. What'd he say? The older groups, that's why I say it in all the demonstrations. It's not so much the younger people. It's us. It's the older people. The older people still want to walk around with our chests on swole. The older people still want to walk around talking about the 90s. The older people want to still walk around talking about in our day and time. The older people walking around don't want to give these young people their respect. But when an older person go to another older person to try to get help, I spoke on this earlier. When an older person, I promise you right now, if I go to somebody that's my age, man, they gonna look at me crazy. They gonna say this, they gonna say that about me. They gonna do everything in their power to block what I got going on. I go to them young boys, I go to them young girls, not young girls. I go to the young ladies, 18 and over. I go to them, they welcome me with open arms. What you got going on, OG? You need my help, OG? Let me go to somebody that's my age or somebody, they turn their nose up at me. So I'm going to leave y'all with this. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I'm going to leave y'all with this. As older people, we have to do better. And y'all can take it however y'all want to take it. But as older people, we have to do better first by ourselves. We got to do better. And we got to do better by these young kids. These young kids don't know what we know. These young kids wasn't around during our time. So we can't go beating them in the head about our time. What we have to do with these young people is we have to embrace them and get them respect. I promise you, they'll get that respect back. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Salute, everybody.